and welcome back to another video. Good morning, people of the internet. Right, I'm gonna cut to the chase. I have procrastinated for about 2 hours. As you can see on my phone here, the weather forecast all day is just heavy rain. Just heavy rain. And so far that has been true. All morning it's just been pouring down, but right now, guys, we have got a break in the rain. As you can see, I mean, it's still like spitting, but the heavy rain has currently stopped for the time being. So now is the time to get out on the bike, and I have adopted it a little bit today to deal with the situational conditions. And I have done so by putting a rear mudguard on, which just attaches on with these like rubber fastenings to the rear stays. Doesn't leave any markings on the frame, and it kind of just hovers above the back wheel. So hopefully it should keep my backside a little bit drier. Because no doubt the moment I set off, the heavens are gonna open again, and it's just gonna be a wet 3-hour ride. So the plan for today, I'm gonna try and give you as much content before I get out on the bike, because I'm pretty convinced I'm not going to be able to take the camera out whilst I start riding because of the weather. So what I'm going to do today is a 3-hour session, and within that 3 hours I've got to do some different sweet spot and also threshold efforts. So I'm going to start off with some longer efforts, some 15-minute efforts, and then towards the end of the ride do some higher intensity 10-minute efforts, and then finish the whole thing off with a few sprints. So that is what is on the menu for today. I'm gonna stop talking right now, put my helmet and shoes on, and just get out on the road, because right now it's not raining, so this is our window to get out on the bike. Stuck a rear light on for some extra visibility gains today, because it's obviously it's dark outside with the weather, so you want to be safe, you want to be seen. Got the Wahoo mounted on there. So yeah, let's go and get this session done. Yo, so look at this. Despite the weather forecast saying that it's just gonna rain non-stop all day, it's starting to brighten up a bit. Look at that, it's like, it looks alright over there. That's the direction I'm headed in. Gonna do about a 30-minute warm-up before I do the first 15-minute sweet spot effort. My legs, they don't feel too bad after the weekend. Thought I was going to feel worse than what I do. I recovered pretty well yesterday, but yeah, it might be a different story once I start my efforts. I'm just still pretty stoked that it's drying up. Anyway, that's 15 minutes. Gonna do about another 15, and then it's time to start work. So there is a quote, a famous quote. It says, "Some days you're the nail, some days you're the hammer, but another days you're the nail." Today I was the nail, and the nail got hammered. So after that last shot, the heavens again opened, and it rained for the following 2 hours. It's also pretty cold today, like my hands are cold. But yeah, so today, like I said, I was doing some sweet spot efforts to start with, and then after the sweet spot, I'm gonna stand here under the shelter, because I don't want to get any more wet. I've just been soaked on for the last 2.5 hours. But anyway, I had some sweet spot efforts to do, and then after that, oh yes, Sam. You have a good stretch, mate. You have a good stretch. Then after that, some 10-minute threshold efforts, and then to finish up, some sprints on my way home. I did the sweet spot efforts, kind of struggled through it. I knew I was suffering and it was going to be a hard day, but I got the efforts done at the numbers that I was set to do, and then I was riding over towards the hill where I was going to do my 10-minute threshold efforts, and my legs were just feeling dead. Got to the climb, started my first effort, did literally 30 seconds, trying to hold threshold like 400 watts, and I just couldn't. Like, I just had nothing in the leg, so I cut my losses. I just stopped the effort there and started to head home. Still did the sprints on the way home, so I did like 2/3 of the session, but just that top end, like that sustained top end effort just wasn't there today. I think I'm just still feeling it a little bit from Sunday. Now it was a big day out, and it was a hard day out, so no doubt I'm still just a little bit gassed from that. But that's today's session over and done with. We go again tomorrow, when hopefully it's gonna be a little bit more dry. What do you reckon? What do you reckon to the rain? Is summer ever gonna arrive? Is it? Because I don't think it is. That is the bike washed for the 14th million time of the year, I think. Absolute legit stats right there. And I just want to say, this, so what is it? This is an SKS Raceblade Pro. I bought this, I paid money for this like 2 years ago. Not sponsored, wasn't a free gift or anything. I bought this. I think it's been on my winter bike for the last year, but I mean, it just literally clips on so easily to the rear stays and it works an absolute treat. You know, it's not ideal if you're riding with other people because it's not a full mud guard, so the people behind you will probably still get splashed. But if you want to look after your own backside, I would highly recommend you get yourself one of these. I had an awesome little clip-on thing which is clipped around the seat post and then came out pretty far. However, it doesn't fit on this bike because it's an aero seat post, not a round one. And this was a pretty good alternative, so I'm going to leave that on because the forecast for the rest of the week looks pretty wet. But right now we need to amend a serious issue in the household, and that is we're out of porridge. The goods have been acquired. So I use Monzo card, like I bank with Monzo, and I don't appreciate this. Like it tells me how much I've just spent on my card and also how much I spent today. Yes, I'm aware of spending all my money. I don't want to be reminded of it. But anyway, we've got some porridge, and yes, I had to go out this evening to pick it up because we almost had to declare a state emergency in my household. Because if I wake up tomorrow morning at 7 AM and there's not any porridge in the cupboard, that ain't any way to start a day. Also, weather update. Still wet. Okay then, as a lot of you now are aware, one of the team's biggest kind of sponsors this year, one of St. Piran's biggest sponsors this year is Hutchinsons Tyres. They've provided the team with tyres this year, and in particular, you know, we're using tubeless tyres. It's my first time using tubeless tyres. I've had an absolutely awesome experience so far with tubeless. Like, I was a little bit skeptical to try tubeless tyres to start with, just because I've always just stuck with what I've known, and that is standard inner tube tyres, right? You know, we've used them for years, they work, so why change? However, I kind of didn't have a choice when I found out, I can't even get into this, when I found out the team were using Hutchinsons tubeless tyres this year, I kind of didn't really have a choice. And let me tell you, now I've used tubeless since about, I think like March time. I don't think that I'll ever go back to standard inner tube tyres. Now, I know not everyone can use tubeless tyres because if your wheels aren't compatible, then you've got to buy a new set of wheels, and you know, I get that that's expensive, but a lot of new wheels now are coming tubeless ready, which means that you can simply just stick on a tubeless tire and like without having to make any modifications. Like, I think you can modify a standard wheel to take tubeless by covering up any holes or like gaps in the wheels, but I know it's not advised, so maybe don't do that. Hutchinsons Tyres, they've just sent me out a brand new pair of the Fusion 5 performance tires, which comes at a great time because for those of you guys that watched the vlogs from Norfolk last week, you'll know that I punctured my front tyre. And you're probably thinking, but Cameron, you've just been telling us how good the Hutchinsons tyres are. Well, yeah, I might have punctured my front tyre, but it's the first puncture that I've got with these tyres, and I worked out that so far this year I've done about 1,000 miles each month, and we started using these tyres in March, so I've done 3,000 miles on the Hutchinsons Fusion 5 tyres. And I've had my first puncture. And I think that is a pretty good ratio. So with the new tyres that the guys have very kindly sent me, I'm gonna put a new one on the front because that's punctured, and I currently have a standard inner tube in there, so I wanna go back onto tubeless. And then I'm also gonna put a new tyre on the back just because I mean, you can't really see too well, the lighting's pretty bad in here, but it's starting to, the tyres are starting to wear down a little bit. The rear tyre always wears down faster than the front. That's just a little tip for any of you guys watching. So you're always going to have to change your rear tyre first before your front. But because we've got the two new tyres here and for the situations that I'm in, I'm just going to change both the tyres today. So we're going to have a bike with a new pair of completely fresh tyres. The grip has been absolutely impeccable on these tyres. I haven't had any issues there. I thought that I would show you guys very quickly on the vlog how we change or how we install tubeless tyres, because it's actually a much easier and quicker process than you might think. I'm going to start by taking off both of the old tyres off the wheels. So that's both the tyres being removed from the wheels. Now, as you can see, the rear wheel, which I haven't punctured yet, has the valve stem actually attached to the wheel here like this, whereas the front wheel doesn't have one because I had to remove it when I put a standard inner tube in. However, because the tubeless tyres haven't got inner tubes, we need to attach a valve core back onto the front wheel, and luckily with the Hutchinsons tyres, it also comes with a couple of valves. Again, it's a very simple process to do this. We just unscrewed a little bolt like so, then slide this little gadget in through the top of the tyre like that. Screwed a little washing nut onto the other side, and make sure that is screwed in nice and tightly. So now I've got valves on both the wheels. What we want to do now is take the new tyres and then just basically put them half on, like you kind of would do before you put an inner tube into a normal tyre. Most of the time tyres are rotational, so you want to make sure you get them on the right direction. That was easy. Now this is where it differs from a normal set of tyres. Once you've got one half of the tyre in both the wheels, you want to take the sealant that comes included in the box, and then all we're going to do is open her up like that and stick a good amount of sealant in there. You know, let's not hold back. And then I'm just going to run the tyre around so the sealant gets all the way around the tyre. And what this does, this fills any little hole. So maybe we run over a rock or a thorn or something, and it's just going to seal that hole up. So, you know, we'll lose a bit of air, but the tyre should seal itself. This is the point where it gets a little bit messy, because we've got to try and get this tyre onto the wheel without getting all that white stuff everywhere. I don't think that was too bad. I got a bit of sealant on me, but could have been worse. Now the easiest way I've found to do it is just kind of like put the tyre down on the ground and just roll it. This way it just seats the tyre nicely against the rim, and then we should be able to pump it up. Oh, first time. Sometimes it can be a little bit of a mission for the tyre to expand against the rim. And very occasionally you have to use a CO2 canister just to get that quick burst of air in to like inflate the tyre against the walls, so then it sits itself and, you know, enables itself to inflate. But that just worked, literally first time, so good job. And just like that, guys, we have two new tyres on the wheels, courtesy of Hutchinsons. We're using the Fusion 5. They just need to go back on the bike now, and we're ready to ride. That whole process took, I don't know, 15-20 minutes, so really doesn't take that long at all. If you're at home and you're considering going to tubeless tyres, 100% do it. If you punch it on a ride and the sealant doesn't seal the tyre, you can literally just remove that valve core, then stick a normal inner tube in to get you home. So yeah, thank you to Hutchinsons for sending out a couple of new tyres. That's going to be the end of today's video, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to leave a like. And with that being said, guys, I'll see you tomorrow at the same usual time of 4 PM. Peace!